Warning, incoming game over. Warning, incoming game over.
Hello everyone. Surprise! It's me. I'm probably not the face you were expecting to see, but welcome in to Game Over Toronto. I'm your host, Zach Payne, filling in for Lauren tonight. We had a last minute substitution, but everything's all good. So yeah, welcome into the show after a Leafs narrow victory over the Anaheim Ducks. That was a little anxious, eh? A little too much anxiety in that game for my liking, especially against that kind of opponent. But hey, win's a win. A win's a win. The Leafs able to get it done. Sorry for the weird snafu with I had to make a new stream because OBS can be a pain sometimes. But we're back up and running. we called IT. The Anaheim neon orange jerseys were causing electrical interference. Yes, Matt, that's exactly what happened. Blame the Ducks for everything. But welcome into the program. It was another win after Tuesday and the win in New Jersey. I think Leaf fans, we got to take a step back, right? Got to take a step back and just appreciate the wins, however they come. It's not about how you win sometimes. It's just about winning. So yeah. Hey, Matt, respect the hair, please. Thank you very much. So yeah, Leafs win 3-2. In a bit of a weird game, in the sense that the Leafs were the better team. The Leafs outplayed the Ducks, but the Ducks also had large stretches of play where they generated some chances, eh? They generated some good offense. Mason McTavish, as an aside, just as an aside, Mason McTavish is a great player, dude. Holy, watching him tonight, that was fun. The Ducks, they got some good young players over there. I don't know. Just something, food for thought. But that's an aside. To start with, opening segment. Usually we come in, we talk about the game, break it down, and we're going to do that. We are going to do that. But this first segment, we got to talk about something else, right? And Luke points this out in the chat at perfect timing. Welcome, Luke. Anthony Stolarz leaves the game after the first period with a lower body injury and does not return. Joseph Woll plays the final 40 minutes of this game. We got to start with that. So, first things first. I don't think this is going to be a long-term injury. I hope. Typically when players and goalies in general, when there's a red flag for a major injury, it's when they leave the game, like they stop the game for the goalie to leave. When a goalie's able to make it to the intermission and then leave, typically that just means they tweaked something and the doctors looked at it, maybe not something too serious, but they're gonna just hold him out of the game. Now, I also have to preface this. At the time I'm saying this to you right now, we don't know any details, all right? I will check X, Twitter, for Craig Berube quotes as the show goes on. In the question segment at the end, I'll probably check Twitter just to see if Berube has any updates for us. But for right now, all we know is Anthony Stolarz left the game. So lower body injuries, when it comes to goalies, there's a few things that it typically is. One would be an ankle sprain. Those typically, like Joseph Woll's had ankle sprains before. It's obviously very important for goalies to push off, and that's an area that gets a lot of usage. So that's maybe something. The other areas are like a groin, hamstring, the upper leg muscles that can get pulled and tweaked a lot more easily with some of the chaotic movements that goaltenders have. So we're gonna have to just wait and see. If I had to venture a guess, I would guess one of those three things, right? Ankle sprain, groin, hamstring, right? Those are the most common ones. And I would venture to guess that Stolarz is going to miss a couple of games at the very least, like maybe a week or two. If it's an ankle sprain, that typically means at least 3 to 4 weeks. If it's, just a pulled muscle, like pulled a groin, pulled a hamstring, whatever, it'll be a week. If it's something more serious than that, we'll see. I wouldn't count on Stolarz being available for the next week at the very least. All right. So as a baseline, I would personally expect he's out for a week minimum. Now, With that being said, what does that mean? Well, Joseph Wool, he's going to get a run of games here, obviously. As he is the de facto starter now. Him and Stolars were splitting starts. Stolars is out. Wool should get the starts. I actually don't know the schedule. Forgive me. I'm going to have to go check this quickly. I don't know if the Leafs have any back-to-backs coming up. I know they play Saturday. Back-to-back on Saturday, Sunday, and then next Friday and Saturday as well. So you got a couple of back-to-backs in the next week. Obviously, you don't want to play Joseph Wool, who is notoriously injury-prone that much, especially on back-to-backs. So where does that leave us? Well, it means you have 3 options, all right? Well, technically 4. You could play him on the back-to-backs, just play Joseph Wool every night. Wouldn't be recommended, but it is an option. Another option, Dennis Hildeby. He has already appeared for the Leafs this season. He looked okay. I think we can all agree in the chat. He looked okay. Third option is Artur Akhtiamanov. I really hope I said that name right. Artur Akhtiamanov has been lighting it up with the Marlies. You could call him up, give him a run of games. Fourth option, break glass in case of emergency, Matt Murray. This is why you have Matt Murray. He's your third goaltender. He's the veteran. You can call him up. You could give him a game or two. No harm, no foul. It's the same as Martin Jones for the past few years, right? There's absolutely no harm in calling up Matt Murray. Well, aside from the fact that you have to put him on waivers after. That's the harm. But if you're willing to risk that, it's a very safe option because, Matt Murray, over the past few years, right, we've become very familiar with Matt Murray. He had his health problems. He had whatever. And, look, is Matt Murray a perfect goalie? No. We don't even know if he's still an NHL goalie, right? He's been hurt. He's been rehabbing, basically. You could give him a chance. You could give him a chance and just see what you have. If he's unusable, you just send him back down, send it through waivers, and if he's bad, no one will claim him. But I don't know. I personally would call up Matt Murray. If I had, like as Luke says, Murray for 1 or 2 could be a disaster, or 1 or 2 shutouts, flip a coin. I think there's definitely a median outcome there. Like, I think you call him up and Matt Murray can give you 900 goaltending, right? 900. With the Leafs system, that's perfectly fine. Because a 900 goalie in this system is probably more like a 910, 915. So, again, remember, the Leafs have a very goaltender-friendly system. Just remember that. So, Murray needs to be the absolute last resort. Look, it kind of just... I know that everyone is very sour on Matt Murray right now as a concept, but look, this is why you have a veteran goalie. If you replace Matt Murray's name with Martin Jones, we would have been calling up Martin Jones. We would have been like, yeah, that's the obvious answer. I don't know. If you guys feel free to disagree. And you know what? Since Luke and Matt, you guys seem to disagree. Would you prefer Akhtiamanov or Hildeby then as your call up? That's my question to you guys. If you don't want Matt Murray, which of the 2 young guys would you prefer? Would you rather see Hildeby, who we briefly saw this season, had some good moments, had some bad moments? Akhtiamanov, complete unknown. And if anyone's unfamiliar, Dennis Hildeby, huge, right? He's 6'7". He's never out of a play just sheerly based on his size. Akhtiamanov, a lot smaller. He's like, I don't know if you guys are familiar out in Calgary, but Dustin Wolf, he's like really small. It'd be like that. Akhtiamanov is not very big. So, but he's been lighting it up, man. So you never know. You could absolutely give him a shot. I would be willing to hear the argument for either of those 2 guys over Matt Murray. So if anyone feels strongly that Matt Murray absolutely cannot be called up, I would love to hear your reasoning why. Now, again, this is likely a 1 to 2 game thing because you don't expect Joseph Wool to be sat that many games as long as he's healthy. If Wool goes down here, we could be in real trouble. We had all the injuries up front, right? And we talked at length for the last few weeks about, man, the Leafs are so beat up front. Now the forwards are getting healthy. Bang, a goalie goes down, right? Jake McCabe, he came back tonight, but he goes down for 5 games, whatever. So we're getting the forwards back, but at what cost right now? Luke says, I want to see how Akhtiamanov goes in the NHL, find out what we have. Matt says, Hildeby, at least you know you need to shore up the D in advance. So two different opinions. Look, I could, maybe in fairness, maybe you could just take whoever's doing the best in the Marlies. I actually don't know. I know Akhtiamanov is having a very good season. Let's find out. Let's find out who's having the best season right now. I'll pull it up on HockeyDB. Currently, Akhtiamanov has played the most games and has the best save percentage. He is 8-0-1, and in the AHL, I think it's tie, right? Can they tie in the AHL? I don't watch enough AHL hockey. I'm so sorry. But Akhtiamanov currently has a .929 save percentage and a 1.84 goals against average in 9 games. Matt Murray, .912 with a 2.42 goals against. And then Hildeby has an .897 and a 2.73 goals against. Murray and Hildeby have both played 6 games. So Akhtiamanov has been far and away the best goalie on the Marlies, and he has the largest sample size. So if we're going to base it off that, if we're going to base it off who's been the best with the Marlies, you got to go Akhtiamanov. Man, that'd be fun. That'd be fun. If I don't know which team he played with over in the KHL, but he did come over from the KHL. This might be his first year in North America. Maybe I should confirm that before I start talking. Yeah, this is his first year over in North America. So that'd be quite a jump, is all I'll say. That would be quite the jump. Imagine he comes over from Russia, right? And then he gets 9 games in the AHL. Boom, play your first NHL game, kid. But hey, if he's the best option, why not, right? He seems like a very good prospect. So, and you know what? This does bring up a different discussion as well. You have Stolarz for a couple of years. You got Woll, who you've already signed to an extension. You've got Hildeby and Akhtiamanov in the system. The Leafs' goaltending depth organizationally looks pretty solid right now, eh? Are any of them on a 2-way contract? I believe that both Hildeby and... See, this is where I miss Cap Friendly. This is where I really miss Cap Friendly. I believe Hildeby and Akhtiamanov are on 2-way contracts. Hold on. Let's find out. Does Puckpedia have this up? I need... Do we have the... Okay, here we go. So that's the NHL. Oh, do we not have the AHL? Oh, no, we do. Okay. So, Akhtiamanov... I don't know what this... I believe... Yeah, Akhtiamanov, Peksa is also in the system. I forgot about him. And Dennis Hildeby, I believe, are all on 2-way contracts. So it's like they're... I don't know if it's their ELCs, but it's... They haven't even hit unrestricted free agency. They definitely... You can call them up and down at will. I am confident in saying that. Don't worry about their contract requirements with calling them up. So assume that Akhtiamanov, Hildeby can call up. Murray would require waivers. So I don't know. It's an interesting discussion just because if it's long term, you don't want to lose someone to waivers when Stolarz comes back. Yeah, but at the same time, if this is what Murray's here for, I don't know. My 2 cents is I personally would just, this is what you bring a veteran in for. But I totally... Actually, that is a good point, though. If it's long-term versus short-term, I think short-term, I would be a lot more willing to do a younger goalie. If it's 2 games, call up a young guy. See what you got. If it's going to be a month or a month and a half, that's when I'm like Matt Murray. Because if you need 5, 6, 7, 8 games... That's where you're going to want some more stability, right? You're going to want the guy that has played in the NHL before. I don't know. Just that's my 2 cents on it. In the meantime, that was good. But we do have to actually transition to talking about, the game. So as I do that, reminder, for everyone watching, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to Game Over Toronto. We appreciate all the support. You guys have been crushing it in the streams every time I've been on. Love seeing all the interaction in the chat. So, feel free to drop a like on the stream, subscribe as well. As I transition us into our second segment here, you are going to see the merch show up on screen beside me. There's a QR code there as well. Check out the Game Over Network merch. We have merch going for all of the Canadian markets. You can find it at thegameovernetwork.com, or again, QR code's right there. And if any of the merch speaks to you, it's good stuff. I have the skater hoodie personally. We also got some new merch. Now, I forgot to update the slideshow, so that's my fault, but you're going to see it on Saturday if you check in on Saturday. But you can go to the website, check out the merch as well. So, with that being said, let's talk about the game, shall we? And really, there's one story for me coming out of this game, and that is the reunited second line. It's so good. I don't know what... I can't, it defies explanation. But Max Pacioretty and John Tavares work so well together. I actually don't have a reason other than they're just two veterans who have very good hockey IQ. Oh my lord, they look good together, eh? Holy, Pacioretty, 2 goals and an assist tonight. Nylander scores another goal, had so many chances. That line was buzzing all night. It was definitely the best line. Definitely the best line. They were incredible. I actually, when Pacioretty came back, right? He comes back from injury. They put him on the top line. I was annoyed. I was very annoyed. Not just because the Pacioretty, Tavares, Nylander line looked so good before he got hurt, but because it didn't really make sense, right? I tweeted in frustration that the Leafs have this weird obsession with putting a past their prime veteran with Matthews and Marner, and they do. I mean, going back to the days of Patrick Marleau, Joe Thornton, Pacioretty, it's a weird thing that they really like putting past their prime veterans into these, very crucial roles, right? But you slide Pacioretty down to the second line. What a difference. What a difference that makes, because Pacioretty just looks so good in that role. I don't know how or why or what, but he just looks so good. And at the start of the season, he looked okay, right? On the third line, he looked okay. He looked like an NHL player. This is incredible. If this is the level of play you're going to get out of Pacioretty, guys, we might have something here. We might have something. At the intermission, Elliot Friedman was talking about the Leafs need to trade for some winger depth. Trade for Chris Kreider. If Pacioretty is playing like this, you can afford to trade. Actually, I don't even know. Fraser Minton's pretty good at third line center too, so I don't know. But it has certainly been a revelation. That line, just being as solid as it is, allows you to keep Matthews and Marner together despite protests from myself and other people in Leafs Nation. I did apologize for that last show that I did about Matthews and Marner. They can stay together as long as they play well. They also played well tonight, and we'll get to them in just a second. But having the second line going like that, it affords you so many you're allowed to do what you want with Matthews and Marner, knowing that your second line is sick. It's sick. It's a great line. Now, the bottom 6, still, I don't love it. I'll be honest. What was the third line tonight? Holmberg, Minton, and Domi. Don't love that. To be honest, I don't love that. I have a well-documented opinion of Max Domi. I don't know if the amulet's going to help him. Pontus Holmberg, I view as kind of the anti-Calle Jarnkrok. You know how Jarnkrok, whatever. You know how Jarnkrok can kind of play up and down the lineup. He's a very versatile player. Penalty kill, power play, whatever. He can kind of play anywhere and be effective. Holmberg can play anywhere, minus the effectiveness, So, look, I know he's had a bad season. I still don't really see the justification for playing Holmberg over Nick Robertson, though. If someone's going to just be very mid on the third line, just truly mid, truly just nothing, a nothing burger every night, doesn't generate much, gives up a few scoring chances, at least give me the guy who has a wicked shot that has the capacity to score, right? Like Holmberg had a goal against Holmberg had a goal against the Devils on Tuesday. Let's be honest, that was not a good shot. I'd rather Robertson there. Lots of praise for the third line from Craig tonight. Look, Domi actually looked fine. I'll be honest, Domi looked fine, and Minton is solid. I just don't like that trio together. Maybe that's my bias, though. I should acknowledge I could have a bias issue there, right? I don't think that highly of Max Domi. I don't think that highly of Pontus Holmberg. So that's my bias. But I don't know. I just don't see it. Like, and you also have to keep in mind they're playing the Ducks. The Ducks. You should be doing good against the Ducks. You could throw out Ryan Reeves on the first line and probably figure it out against the Ducks. I don't know, man. I don't know. I would like to see. We saw last year there were times where Robertson and Domi played together, and it's not a bad concept. You put a pure playmaker with a pure scorer. The problem is who's going to play with them now. The immersion of Fraser Minton had not yet happened. I think this was at the start of the season too. Minton had not yet been called up. I'd be willing to try it because Minton is responsible defensively, right? He's a smart player. He can kind of, I don't want to say babysit, but he can babysit Domi and Robertson if they were all on a line. Worth a shot. Again, regular season is for experimentation. You got to figure out what you have. When Bobby McMahon, actually, that's the other thing. McMahon's coming back. Oh, that complicates it. So maybe you do McMahon, Minton, Domi. That's actually not bad because then you pair Domi with a power forward like McMahon who still has a good shot and is defensively responsible. Minton, who's defensively responsible. That could work, actually. That could work. I don't know. McMahon coming back, though, will definitely help. The forward depth is... See, now we're back to the problem we had at the start of the season, where there's too many bodies to fill out all these bottom six roles. The difference is, looking at it from December compared to the start of October, is at the start of October, we said, we have so many forwards. How are we going to play them all? And in December, we're like, we have so many bodies. But I don't know how many of them are NHL players. Like, honestly, Nikita Grabenkin might have been the best one so far, the best bottom six winger so far. But no, Steven Lorentz is actually, love him too. He was okay on the third line, but not exactly someone I want there full time. But we'll see. I don't know specifically when Bobby McMahon is supposed to return. I think it's supposed to happen in the next week or so. Like, he's on the way back. We know he's on the way back. So, We'll just have to wait and see, man. We'll have to wait and see. I'm going to transition us into our third segment in the meantime. This is going to be a fun one. As I do, though, like if anyone has any thoughts on the line combos, feel free to leave them down below. Again, a reminder to hit that like button and to subscribe to Game Over Toronto. And you can also, follow me on Twitter, Zach Payne 41 as well if you want. Now, this third segment, this is going to be a fun one. All right. So, it's December, right? Middle of December. It's what, December 12th? It's December 12th. Christmas is right around the corner. And, with the theme of Christmas, the Game Over Calgary crew, I believe it was Calgary, they did a fun segment called Naughty or Nice on one of their shows, talking about which players on the roster are on the nice list and which are on the naughty list. And I thought we could do the same thing. So, forgive me, chat. I'm not going to be looking at chat for a little bit. But we are going to go through the roster real quick. And we are going to, decide which Leafs belong on the nice list and which belong on the naughty list at this point in the season. Now, I'm not going to address the guys who have played like one or two games. Like, I'm not going to talk about like Hildeby or what, like guys of that nature. Even Alex Nylander, I'm not going to mention them because they didn't play enough. I'm talking about the guys that have played a good chunk of games here, that are regulars, the regulars. So this is going to be done in, I don't even know what order. Is this going to be alphabetical? No, it's not. I don't even know. It's whatever order. I have it pulled up on the Score app. So that's the order we're going with. So to start with, I could actually kind of package these together, but I'm not going to. So Anthony Stolarz, sucks he got hurt. He's on the nice list. That's easy. That's an easy one. Easy one. He's been one of the best goalies in the entire league, let alone like completely exceeding expectations coming into Toronto. Joseph Woll, sucks he got hurt, but he's been playing very well after a bit of a shaky start. I'd be inclined to put both goalies on the nice list. And throughout this segment, if you have any disagreements, throw them down in the chat and I'll review them after. That's how we're going to do this. All right. So both goalies, nice list. I would put them on the nice list. All right. Moving on to the forwards. This is where this is going to get interesting. So the first name on the list, again, don't shoot the messenger here, Connor Dewar. Now this is a weird one for Dewar because he's played 12 games, or 13 now actually, with Anaheim, and he has 1 assist. But he's in a fourth line role, playing with Ryan Reeves pretty exclusively. So bit of a handicap there. Sorry to Mr. Dewar, because he has a scoring touch. He had a season, or when he came from Minnesota last year, he had 10 goals in 57 games. The scoring touch is there. It just isn't. We haven't seen it. We haven't seen it in Toronto. I think he has 1 goal as a Leaf. 1 goal last year in 17 games, and he has none so far this season. This is a tough one because, like, look, I think Dewar is a solid player. We have had such a big problem with scoring out of the bottom 6 and out of the depth that it just, I have to put him on the naughty list. We need more. We need more from the non-core 4. Now, Max Domi. Everyone knows Max Domi is my favorite player. Look, you've played a quarter of the season. You missed some time. You play a quarter of the season. You don't have a goal. You don't have a goal, man. Shoot the puck. Max, I'm begging you, just shoot more. He's actually been doing better as of late at shooting the puck. I should clarify. Please, Max, shoot the puck. Until he scores, I cannot in good conscience put him on the nice list until he has 0 goals. 0 goals. That's unacceptable for a guy you're paying, what, 3 point something? Unacceptable, dude. Excuse me. Max Domi, definitely going on the naughty list. Like, if this is my naughty list over here, he's going at the bottom. And that is not just a personal vendetta. That is not just bias. Everyone, even the Max Domi superfans, if there are any in the chat right now, you guys should be able to sympathize with my stance for a second. He doesn't have a goal. So I don't think anyone should defend that. Max Domi goes on the naughty list. All right? You could try to defend it. I don't know. We can have a spirited debate on that. Pontus Holmberg. I did not choose the order of this. 6 points in 26 games. And that includes some top 6 time. He had extended periods playing with Tavares. He's played with Marner, Nylander. Like, he's played with great players. He's played with the core 4. Nada. Like, again, it's hard not to. I'm just gonna screw it. I'm gonna do this quickly. I already talked about Holmberg. He's the anti-Cal Yarncroke. He can do a lot of things, but none of them well. Naughty list. Move on. I'm gonna move on. Yarncroke, he's on IR, hasn't played. David Kampf, how many games did he even play? He's played 18 games, had 0 goals in 18 games. We know that David Kampf is not an offensive player. We know he is a net negative offensively. He is at least a minor positive defensively. Sorry. That being said, what does David Kampf do that Connor Dewar can't? I don't think much. Maybe he's a bit better in the faceoff circle. But Dewar can also kill penalties. Dewar's also a net negative or net 0 offensively. He's at least not a negative. He doesn't do anything, but he doesn't actively have plays die on his stick as often. So Dewar to me is a better version of Kampf. And I already put Dewar on the naughty list because he hadn't scored yet. So David Kampf, naughty list. I'm going to move on. Now, these are actually, this next stretch is going to be easy. Matthew Nyes, 10 goals and 6 assists, 16 points in 26 games, mostly playing on the top line. So, on the one hand, you want him to have more points playing with Matthews and Marner. That is a fair criticism. He's also been really good. And he is setting himself up for a very good contract extension. If it's a long-term deal, he's going to get the bag. If it's a short-term deal, he's still going to get a bag. It just won't be as large. Nice list. He's got to go on the nice list. He's got to go on the nice list. Mitch Marner. He has 38 points in 28 games. He has set himself up for a monster contract, whether it is with the Leafs or not. He has changed most people's minds on him. Everyone that, including myself, who was like, we have to get rid of Mitch Marner. We need a shake-up. We need to change the core four. I'm willing to keep him. Most Leaf fans are now willing to keep him. To be able to fix your image that much, nice list. Like he's worked his way onto the nice list. I'm gonna move on. Austin Matthews. Look, I don't have a neutral list, so this is where this is gonna get a little tricky, right? Austin Matthews obviously was battling injuries, so that is an important asterisk. That is why he was not as effective at the start of the season. Since coming back, he's looked a lot better, right? He's still point a game. He's the goals, like the goal scoring. The goals will come, guys. The goals will come. This will be controversial, but if it wasn't for the injury knowingly hampering his play at the start of the season, he would have been on the naughty list. I am going to put him on the nice list with the asterisk that it is due to injury affecting his play. If Matthews had just put up 9 goals in 19 games and he was healthy, he would have been on the naughty list. But because of that asterisk, I'll let it slide. Moving on. Bobby McMann. Now, this guy is either amazing or... No, I did that wrong. This is the nice side. He is either amazing or terrible. Not terrible. He's either amazing or invisible. There we go. And there's not, he's not a playmaker. He has 1 assist in 21 games, but he also has 6 goals, which, not bad. We know he has a wicked shot. We know he gets after it on the forecheck. We know he's a good penalty killer. For what he can be, but it's not what he can be. What has he been? Man, it's kind of, I'm in the same territory as the Matthews one I just did, where yes, he's good, but has he been at the level he should be? I'm actually going to say naughty on this one. Because this is purely just because I know he can be better. He can be better. If Bobby McMann played to the level that he's capable of every night, he would be on the nice list, easy. He would also have played himself into a top 6 role by now. So a very top of or bottom of the whatever the equivalent of barely being on the naughty list is, would that be the top of the list or the bottom of the list? Would top of the list be the most naughty? If so, that's Max Domi. He's on the opposite end of the naughty spectrum from Domi. That's how I'll put it. I'm gonna move on. Fraser Minton. What a revelation this kid has been, hey? He's only played 9 or 10 games, but, has 4 points. He looks like an NHLer at 20 years old. Remember a year ago how quickly we just threw him away? Doesn't work. Bye. Suddenly, we are having to revise our conversations about how badly do the Leafs really need a third-line center. We have this kid. He has been just awesome. He is responsible defensively. And remember, this would have been the Dubas regime. They picked him. What was the language we heard? This kid is smart. His hockey IQ is his defining trait. You see it. Night after night, this guy is taking on some defensive responsibility that I've been impressed with. Even if he's not the best at it, he's at least putting himself in good spots. He's not the fastest, he's not the strongest, he's not the most skilled. He's just a solid player. So with that being said, nice list. I'm gonna move on. William Nylander, this is the easiest one on here. Nice list. He's up to 18 goals in 29 games. He's on like a 50-goal pace. He is in the top 3 for goals scored. What else is there to say? Nice list. I'm gonna move on. I lost my spot. I lost my spot. My bad. Okay. Max Pacioretty. Caveat that he has been injured and he started playing a little poorly. Okay, so this is split in two. Max Pacioretty, when he is playing with John Tavares and William Nylander on this randomly amazing second line, easily on the nice list. Max Pacioretty, when he plays with literally anyone else, naughty. So, recency bias being a thing, he played on the second line tonight, and I think that's where he will stay. So I'll put him on the nice list. I'll be generous. I will be generous. I'll put him on the nice list. Because look, he looks so good when he's playing with those guys, and he does look good. Like his forechecking, the hit he had on Jack Hughes the other night, that is just incredible. That's what I want from Max Pacioretty, even though I didn't know he was a physical guy. I did not realize that was his game. But hey, I'll put him on the nice list for that. Ryan Reeves. The most notable thing Ryan Reeves has done all season was get himself suspended for KOing Darnell Nurse, except it wasn't in a fight, it was with his shoulder, and he got himself a 5-game suspension. So, that's your most notable thing? Naughty list. I'm gonna move on. Don't need to spend too much time on that one. Nick Robertson. Again, this is pretty easy. He has 2 goals in 23 games. Now, his second goal, beautiful. Beautiful. And if we saw that more often, I could talk myself into it. We haven't. Naughty list, I'm gonna move on. Last forward that I'm gonna mention, John Tavares. The amulet has worked. 2 more points tonight. He's up to 25 points in 28 games. That's good, man. That's good. Tavares is gonna fuck around and score 70 points, 75 points this year. Has to go on the nice list. Has to. Defenseman. Now this is going to be a little bit more interesting. Simone Benoit. We discovered last year. Again. But like, feel free to drop yours in the chat. I'll get to it. As soon as I do this, I'll get to you guys. So if you have any disagreements, feel free to put them in the chat. Simone Benoit. Last year, we discovered that Simone Benoit and Jake McCabe is a surprisingly good pair, hey? Surprisingly good. Well, he has not been playing with Jake McCabe this year, and it has not been pretty. He takes way too many penalties. He's not that good defensively. He's certainly not good offensively. Naughty list. I'm gonna move on. One moment. Oliver Ekman-Larsson. I don't think, in recent memory, and at least to you guys, since this is my first year doing streams on Game Over Toronto here, this has definitely been my worst take. I was very against this signing. I was very against it. I thought that it was so stupid they signed Oliver Ekman-Larsson. Oh my lord, where would they be without him? So, I have to hold my hand up. I was so wrong about this player. He goes on the nice list without question. Yanni Hakanpää, no, I'm not even going to. Yanni Hakanpää, he's on this list. I'm not going to mention him. He's only played a couple of games. Made Team Finland somehow with one leg. I don't know, man. Jake McCabe, he is one half of one of the best shutdown pairings in the league. Nice. Don't need to think about that one too hard. Philippe Myers, he's only played a handful of games, but I suspect he'll play probably 20 games throughout the season. He's rather nothing. I don't know. He's just a guy. He's a body. He's a body you throw out there. Considering expectations, he can go on the nice list just because they're like, I don't know, if you expected more from him, I don't know what to tell you, man. Morgan Riley. This pains me because I don't know. That jersey right there, the white one, the white Stadium Series, that is a Morgan Riley jersey. I love Morgan Riley so much. And because I love Morgan Riley, I say this with love. Morgan Riley has not been one of the Leafs' 4 even best defensemen. He's been their 4th best defenseman. He's their highest paid defenseman. He's been their 4th best defenseman. He has not shown the flash offensively that he usually does. We know he has his deficiencies on defense. Naughty list. I'm sorry. He just has not been good. Actually, I don't know if I'm not apologizing. I'm too Canadian. If shout out Hyperdrive Hockey, by the way. They're doing a segment on their Friday shows called Sorry Not Sorry. By the way, check out Hyperdrive Hockey at the Game Over Network YouTube channel or wherever you get your podcasts. They that's the joke, right? Is their segments called Sorry Not Sorry because us Canadians say sorry to way too much. Why am I saying sorry? Naughty list. That's end of story. End of story. That was a great. Tell me that wasn't a great way to get an ad read in there. Marshall Rafai, I don't think he's even played. Why is he on this list? Ignore that. Chris Tanev, the best signing the Leafs have made in the last number of years, the best move they've made defensively since they traded for Jake Muzzin. He is at the top of the nice list. He is the goodest boy that the Leafs have. I don't know if I like that sentence, but Chris Tanev, if I was giving out grades, I think Chris Tanev and Anthony Stolarz would be my only A pluses. Even William Nylander, I would give an A, and Marner, I would give an A. Chris Tanev and Anthony Stolarz, A plus. Tanev might even get an A plus plus. He has been so good. He is driving the best shutdown pair in the NHL. Yeah, man. Even he's 34. At 34 years old, he is the Leafs' best defenseman, and he is the best defenseman the Leafs have had since I don't know. And he's the best right-handed defenseman they have had since the turn of the century. Last but not least, Connor Timmins. He won a job from Timothy Liljegren. Not that is that big of an accomplishment, but he won the job. He's okay. He's just, he had an assist tonight. He had a shot that Pacioretty tipped in. I'm sorry, man. He's just so meh. Considering he's an every night player, you're better than Simone Benoit, but that is a very low bar to crawl over. Actually, that bar is underground, so you just have to walk normally and you cross that bar. So I'm sorry, Timmins, you also go on the naughty list, and that closes it out. How many disagreements do we have? All right, Luke, Stolarz, Wool, Marner, JT, Willie, Patches, McCabe, Tanev, OEL on the nice list, Matthews, Minton, to be determined. Everyone else, naughty, come at me. So you know what? Minton I put on the nice list. I didn't know that we were adjusting the rules to have a to be determined list. That's not how the game works, Luke. Play the game. Put Matthews on the naughty list. I dare you. If Riva was on the nice list, I might start to doubt the scientific rigor of this study. No, don't worry, he's not. What has Reeves done to deserve even consideration for that, eh? Nothing. He's done nothing. Like, what does he even do? When David Kampf comes back, if Dewar or Lorentz gets scratched for Ryan Reeves, I am going to throw something. I don't know. I don't live in Toronto, so I'm not going to march on Scotiabank Arena, but yeah. I owe JT so many apologies for the crap I said about him last year. It's not even funny. Matt, you're not the only Leafs fan. Now, I don't owe him that many apologies. I owe him some apologies. I'm not, blemishless in this. I have definitely said my fair share about Tavares, but I've also... I don't know. I like Tavares, so I owe him a couple apologies. I'll say, hey, you know what? Let's do this together. I apologize for ever considering that John Tavares was washed. There. Let's get it out there. It's a healing moment. The power of the amulet compels you to apologize right now. All right. With that being said, I'm going to turn us over to our last segment. If anyone in the chat has any questions at all regarding the Leafs, regarding anyone on the Leafs, regarding hockey, any questions at all, it doesn't even have to be hockey related. Any questions at all, throw them at me. This is your time. Now, I do have to revisit our conversation at the start. While you guys are drumming up your questions, first of all, remember to hit that like button, subscribe to Game Over Toronto. I am quickly going to scan Twitter to see what was said about Stolars. Looks like nothing. We'll know tomorrow. Lower body right now. How concerning is it? It's concerning for sure. Didn't see when it happened, but hopefully we get good news. He got checked out and couldn't go. Is what it is. So, yeah. Anyways, again, this is the time to get your questions in as the show nears its end. I do want to mention, I want to shout out quickly, the Pittsburgh Penguins and Montreal Canadiens, they entered the third period, and it was 3-2 Penguins. And that game finished 9-2 Pittsburgh. Woof. Woof. Any chance of game over for the PWHL games? Not on a regular basis. I'm sure I could... I mean, you could definitely talk Dominic and Lauren into doing those because I think Dominic has season tickets to the Scepters, like he goes to those games. Maybe, and I think another good idea would be when the PWHL playoffs roll around. I think we could scrape together enough people to do some playoff shows for sure. So that's a good idea, actually. That's a really good idea, Matt. I'll talk to some people about that one. We'll see what we can. We'll see if we can come up with anything. 9-2, yeah, 9-2. And you know what? This is funny. I have to put someone on blast. Like a week ago, my partner's father bet me that the Montreal Canadiens would make the playoffs. He said $20. Montreal is going to make the playoffs. I said, I will absolutely do that. And if they make the playoffs, I don't even want my $20. So, yeah, I love to see Montreal lose. Respectfully to the Game Over Montreal team. I'm sorry, but I now have extra motivation to cheer against you. Because, yeah, my partner and their family are all French. So, I have a lot of feelings towards the Montreal Canadiens. If Stoli is out, who has the best goalie tandem now? Oh, well, I don't even know what the best goalie tandems are. Am I allowed to just say, like, the Jets because they have Hellbuck? I need to... Let's do some research. I have to check the stats. Does anyone even have two goalies in the top 20 of these stats? Like, of goals against average, the Leafs have numbers 3 and 4. Outrageous, first of all. I mean, the Red Wings have a couple of guys up there. Man, Gustafsson is having a great season, eh? But I don't think Fleury is, so I can't say the Wild. The Flames have Wolf and Vladar, who are okay. Oh, man. Why does no one have a good goalie tandem? Ooh, maybe the Red Wings, unironically, with Talbot and Lyon. Maybe the Capitals. I don't know. Logan Thompson's been playing okay. Actually, how has Charlie Lindgren been, though? Nope, never mind. Lindgren's been bad. I don't know, man. That's a hard one. Rangers, they have Quick as their backup. How's Quick been doing? That's a good question. That's a good poll. Quick is a 950. How many games has he played, though? 8. You know what? Sure, Rangers. Ducks, Dostal's good. I like Dostal a lot. I don't know how well the other Ducks goalie has been doing. It's Gibson, right? Yeah, how's Gibson been doing? Gibson has a solid... not the Ducks. I'm sorry. Gibson's not good. Oh, that's a good poll. Matt. I'd say the Rangers. But yeah, I'm sorry, Luke. Gibson is not good. And as an aside, what is the obsession with everyone like, if anyone needs a good top tier goalie, trade for John Gibson. Why? He's been bad for like 4 years. I'm sorry. That's like, I just don't get it. I don't get what the obsession is with Gibson aside from his name value, his name brand recognition. Aside from that, Gibson's not good. I'm sorry. What are you going to do with your 20? I don't know. Well, maybe go get some food, I guess. Maybe I'll just trade it in for a bunch of ones and throw it at him. All right, I'll give you guys one last chance to get any last second questions in as I close the show. Thank you so much for tuning in to Game Over Toronto. Again, I'm Zach Payne. You can follow me on Twitter at ZachPayne41, at Bluesky at ZachPayne41. Not very active on there, so you can still follow me. I'll try my best to keep up. And I also, if any of you are NFL fans, I do have a NFL-based podcast called The Payne and Drain Show. You can go check that out too, wherever you get your podcasts. You can check out Game Over Toronto, wherever you get your podcasts, or you can subscribe to this YouTube channel. Follow the show if you're listening on podcasting platforms. And yeah, that's it, everyone. I'll see you on Saturday. I am hosting the game. Who do they play? It's the Red Wings. I'm so out of touch, man. I'm so out of the loop. They play in Detroit. Oh, hey, I was just talking about that goalie tandem. So there you go. So yeah, thank you everyone for being kind to me again. Lauren will be back at some point. I mean, there's a lot of games, so you'll see Lauren at some point soon, I'm sure. But it'll be me on Saturday. But yeah, in the meantime, thank you so much for checking out the stream, and we'll see you guys next time. Cheers.